United Kingdom, Theresa May has just made history by becoming the first woman to take Prime Minister's questions since Margaret Thatcher stood down. Theresa May spoke in her first session of PMQs in front of the House of Commons to the question of the Brexit. Have a listen.
As he says, we will make a success of it. What we need to do in negotiating the deal is to ensure that we listen to what people have said about the need for controls on free movement, but we also negotiate the right deal and the best deal of trade in goods and services for the British people.
There, that was Theresa May, the new British Prime Minister, speaking in front of the Commons a short while ago. A busy day for Theresa May since after that PMQ session, she's headed to Berlin and then to Paris to start setting out the roadmap for Britain's departure from the European Union. Dr. Kevin Faetherstone joins us now. He's head of the European Institute and Professor of European Politics. Thank you very much indeed for being our guest. Theresa May has made clear that she's heading to Berlin and to Paris to say that she's not intending to rush into the triggering of this famous Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty that will set in train these 2 years of negotiations in order for the United Kingdom to leave the European Union. That's not something that's likely to go down terribly well with her European partners, who've made it clear they want it to happen now.
Well, that's right. But I think from the British government's point of view, Theresa May has taken over in the context of a lack of preparation before the referendum as to what Brexit might mean. And as you know, she's repeated this mantra that Brexit means Brexit. But actually in the details and in the substance, we're very unclear as to what kind of relationship the UK might have with the rest of the European Union. So I think it's force majeure that she has to play for time. And I think she'll be focusing very much on her dealings with Angela Merkel as being the prime opportunity for her to set the stage.
Now, you say, of course, we don't know terribly much about precisely the negotiating tack that the United Kingdom is likely to take. Indeed, probably the United Kingdom itself does not know much about that negotiating position for the time being, hence the fact that it's taking its time. And yet, given Theresa May's profile, a Eurosceptic who campaigned nonetheless for Remain, I suppose what analysts are expecting is that she will try to negotiate, yes, the Brexit, but some sort of maintaining of the United Kingdom inside the European internal market.
Yes, as we heard just now from the Prime Minister's questions in the House of Commons, she's making a reference to two key interests. One is to have greater controls over migration, as this was clearly a major theme in the referendum campaign and probably contributed to the Brexit vote. And on the other hand, to maintain the UK's full participation in the single European market. Now, from previous cases, such as Norway, this combination would be unprecedented. So Theresa May is going to try to balance these two interests of some reduction in migration, some greater control in migration, but alongside continued access to the single market, which is overwhelmingly in the interests of British exporters and indeed importers. And I think in Germany, it's probably the case that she's going to have a closer meeting of minds than, dare I say, when she goes on to Paris. There is much in the Angela Merkel and British government's agenda which would normally philosophically, ideologically converge. And of course, it's Angela Merkel who has been making some softer noises so far. So I think Theresa May will probably try to map out some compromise, some kind of deal on those two interests of the single market and migration.
Dr. Faetherstone, thank you very much indeed for being our guest, even as Theresa May prepares to set off for those first meetings in Berlin and Paris as Prime Minister.